Congress is back in session this week, which can only mean one thing. Let the doom scrolling begin again. You think that being back in session would push the majority party in Congress to take up meaningful action on the most pressing issues facing Americans today, from addressing rising costs at the grocery store to making healthcare more affordable to defending our democracy. But no. Instead, they're solely focused on ramming through their harmful and heartless budget that guts Medicaid by the tune of $880 billion, at least. All to make way for tax cuts for MAGA billionaires and big corporations. I know some of you are watching this video right now and are probably saying, but Sarah, the word Medicaid isn't even mentioned in the budget resolution. The word Medicaid may not appear in the text, but let me be very clear. Under the Republican budget, Medicaid will be cut. Here's why. The majority party's budget resolution calls for the House Committee on Energy and Commerce, which oversees healthcare programs including Medicare and Medicaid, to cut spending under its jurisdiction by at least $880 billion in order to partially fund their tax cuts for MAGA billionaires. According to a March 5th analysis by the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, when Medicare is set aside, and they've said that they're not going to touch Medicare in this budget, Medicaid accounts for 93% of funding under the committee's jurisdiction. 93%. There is simply no way for the committee to meet the budget requirements for cuts without slashing Medicaid, whether the word appears in the budget resolution or not. So no matter what the majority party says on TV or in their tweets, the math doesn't add up. And they're apparently banking on you and me not knowing how to do math either. The reality is that passing this budget means gutting healthcare coverage for millions of Americans, including nearly 1 in 4 Delawareans that rely on Medicaid. That's why when I was in Delaware last week, I brought together Medicaid patients who shared their stories. They spoke to how the program has been a lifeline for not only themselves, but their families. One Delawarean shared with us that without Medicaid, she would die. She's not alone. The ramifications of gutting this vital program would be devastating. These cuts are not just numbers on a page. They're real people facing serious health challenges, from cancer to Alzheimer's, people just wanting to start a family and have kids, and they deserve to have the care they need. Now, I know a lot of folks want to engage in the fight to protect Medicaid, and you should. My office is continuing to collect Medicaid stories from Delawareans up and down our state that underscore the real-world impact of these cuts. To those of you who I've heard from already, thank you for sharing your stories. Keep calling your members of Congress, raise your voice, keep the pressure on no matter where you live. The majority party knows how unpopular this move is, and they're scared to look their constituents in the eyes. But they need to hear from you. Your voices are the only thing that can push them to stand up to this horrific budget. Stay in touch, and I'll do the same.